All right, so in this last section, I just wanted to have a few videos here on what to do if you run into some roadblocks or you're having some technical issues, how to interact with YNAB tech support. But this first one, I wanted to talk about what to do in terms of making a fresh start. If you find that you've kind of gotten off course or that you were using it for a little while, maybe you fell out of the habit of checking it, doing your importing and approving your transactions, things along those lines, and you want to get back into it, you find you've got 500 transactions or something that you're just not going to go through. That would take forever, and you're probably going to forget what most of them are anyways. You find yourself in that position, or it's just a mess, or the balances are way off, or whatever the reason is. If you feel like you want to start from zero, you can do that. It would be surprising if you started from the beginning and never had to make a fresh start because it didn't turn into a mess. I mentioned that it takes some time. There is a learning curve. I've said it's kind of like playing an instrument. It's going to take a little while to get good at playing an instrument. You can also think of it as a little bit of an art project. When you first put pen to pad and you start drawing something out, you're not Da Vinci the first time. It takes a little bit of time to get used to it. Sometimes you got to rip the paper up and throw it in the garbage can. That would be completely normal. This is the same thing. If it ends up looking like a mess, you can always just start over. The way that you would do that, if you just click this drop down here, if you click make a fresh start, it'll pop this up. It'll give you all this information on what happens. But if you'll name a new budget, it'll start from scratch. The one thing about this is, if you do make a fresh start, all these things go to zero. You don't lose your linked accounts, which is nice. You don't have to do that over. You also still have access to what would then be the old budget. If you just click this drop down and go to open budget, it'll show you all the ones that you've used in the past. So if there was something, for example, that was useful in the previous one, if there's something that, for instance, you want to maintain, like there's some goal or something that you set up, you can go back and reference what that was and add it to the new budget that you're setting up. So you don't lose it completely. You can use it as a little bit of a reference. So that's helpful. So that's it. That's how you'd make a fresh start. I wouldn't hesitate to do it. If you need to do it, go ahead and do it. It would be, like I said, it would be odd if you started from day one and never had to start over because it turned into a little bit of a mess. It does take some time to get used to, and you would not be the first person to bomb the thing and start over. So nothing wrong with that. Make liberal use of it, and we'll see you in the next video.